Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More. We're at the tiny laundromat and car wash, which is for sale. And I was stopping by to count quarters, see how we did this week, see if there are any disasters. And it didn't start out amazing, but it turned out pretty good in the end. So I'm pretty happy this week after visiting the laundromat, and we'll tell you why. And we'll show you the issues and problems I had to begin with as well that had me pretty worried. So last week we had major problems. The door lock broke, and then this week I come in here and there's water all over the place, and one of the machines wasn't working right. And I'm like, oh my God, again. But I mean, the good news is there's lots of people there doing laundry. And I stopped by on Monday this week too to make sure our change machine was working, and there were lots of people that had been there over the weekend as well. So all that was pointing to really, really good stuff. So we'll tell you what happened with the machine, if we fixed it or not. We'll show you how much money we made this week, which might surprise some people. And then, of course, we'll talk about if we're able to get any action selling it or not. And we'll talk more about the issues we had last week, too, and how it seems like those got fixed. So I think we figured out the heater isn't working right because the thermostat is in the remote. So we moved the remote outside. Hopefully that fixed it. This is how the mop was left for me when I got there on Monday too, which I was not real happy about because we had someone stop in to clean it a little bit, and yeah, the sink is right over there. Anyway, we're going to check the change machine, see how it's working today. Last week, it was not working. We had lots of issues, but this week, I stopped by on Monday, it was still working. Like I said, there's lots of money in the machine already, and then we're checking now to see if there's more money gone and how it looks in here, because based on this weekend, we might have a really, really good week here. We had kind of a down week before, and there's a lot of quarters gone, and there's so much money in there. Last week we had $23 because the change machine was broken, and now we might have a record. I'm not sure, but that's pretty good. We have more in here, which I will dump on dump some on the floor. And there's still some quarters, and this one's our backup one that just takes dollars, and that's been running out lately because the other one wasn't working. But we'll refill it too, even though it's still got more than half of the quarters in it. We'll still refill that too. But this is looking pretty good. So after having kind of a down, bad week where the door was broken, I had to break in, and some other issues. I walk in here, it's super dirty and ugly, and there's water everywhere. Maybe things are looking up, at least with the quarters inside of it. Now, I actually took quarters to the bank from this laundromat, and I was going to put on my chart, but it kind of messed up the scaling. But we took $938 worth of quarters to the bank from this laundromat. So we show you the cash we collect every week on our chart at the end, and we'll count this cash up and show you how much that is too. But we also usually collect more quarters than we give out. And that happens in my other laundromat as well, where we accumulate quarters and then take them to the bank every few months. So I counted those quarters first, and then we'll take them to the bank. But, so that's extra money we kind of bring in over, I don't know how long it's been, probably 6 months or so. And then this is the apartment that's still vacant. And it's kind of nice having this space back again, because every time I come here now, there are people doing laundry, which is a good sign. In the past, it's kind of like you come here and most of the time it's empty and I have the whole place to myself and I can count quarters inside the laundromat, but it's a little easier to do it over here. Now I know it's not worth $1,100 a month, which is what we rented this apartment for, to count quarters over here, but when we have it for sale, I left this vacant on purpose because we figure if someone might want to own it and operate it, it would be perfect for that. Or if someone wants to put a child or relative in here, possibly a deadbeat child who, won't work or do anything, stick them in here, have them run the laundromat, teach them some responsibility. Great situation. So if there's anybody out there in that situation, this property is available. And don't worry if you're far away, because that might be perfect for you if you want to stick them in a different state. All right, we'll fill that up. Of course, I had issues again with going too fast and getting quarters jammed, but we got that filled, and then let's see what's in the coin boxes. Okay. It's super noisy in here right now because one of the washers was pretty full and was working overtime on spin cycle, and so you won't be able to hear the coins drop right away, but then it quiets down later. I know a lot of people like that sound. So we're starting off definitely better than last week. Last week was pretty minimal. Not bad. Okay. So this is definitely looking a lot better. Like I said, with all that money in the change machine and all the quarters gone, this could be a really good week. So I'm not sure we've had that many quarters gone since we added the new change machine. It's been a really, I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen it that empty. In the very beginning, we did run out of quarters once, but that was before I realized we had like the thing on top, you could fill it way fuller then. So since I've been doing that too, I don't think I've ever seen it that empty. So good sign. I know it doesn't look like much as far as quarters go, but it's a really small laundromat in a small town. And if you watch our videos before, it's never much to look at, and not like our other laundromat where we have much fuller coin boxes. But this is better than last week, and maybe better than we've seen in a while. So that's pretty encouraging. I'm happy to see that. And like I said, there are people there when I was doing laundry. Not doing laundry. You know, taking coins out. And oh, that's pretty good too. Man. Yep, that looks pretty good. We haven't had too many issues with machines lately breaking. So that's been nice here because that's been an issue we've had a lot. So it's a little frustrating to come in here and see water on the floor. And I don't know. Sometimes you see water on the floor because people take their clothes out, their wash, or they're, you know, not all the way dry. They get water all over. But that looked like more water than that. That looks like a machine that's leaking. And it could be a really old machine right there. We'll have to see. Oh, wow! That one was pretty heavy. I know it's hard to see, but that one was very full. That one's pretty good too. So we have a lot in our Horizon washers here. That's a good sign. Now we'll do our little top loaders. So I got in here, and not only was this leaking, but this one, the lady came and told me, she asked me, did I shut this off? I'm like, no, because I was looking at it when it was leaking and it had stopped. So I looked at it, couldn't make it work, it was plugged in, everything seemed fine. So I put more quarters in it, and it started again. So I think it went through another cycle, but for some reason it had just stopped and then was working again. And by the time I was done, it had rinsed, and I was worried it wasn't going to drain. It drained. There was no more water on the floor. So I don't know if it's just a freak issue where something was stuck or it didn't drain right. I don't know. But sometimes these machines go crazy and then fix themselves. And I just accept it and move on. So we're just going to assume that machine's okay. And we'll see what happens if we get more calls or not. But so far, I mean, that's a lot of quarters. Last week I was able to grab all 3 buckets with one hand. I definitely can't do that this week. I mean, I can grab 2 buckets with one hand, but not 3. So we'll count. You know what? I almost forgot the car wash and vacuum. So I was about ready to count those up, and I'm thinking, I feel like I'm forgetting something. And yes I was. I forgot to go check the car wash. I know this is huge amounts of money here we could be missing. So we'll see what's in here. We'll also check the vacuum. We didn't check it last week, so we'll check the vacuum this week. One day I should redo these the key for this car wash does not work very well. You really have to finagle it to make it work. So I should probably have that redone at some point. That pesky quarter. But it locks and you can get it, you know, secure. But sometimes I feel like I'm not able to get it unsecure or get that key out, and I don't know exactly why. But should probably fix that before it really does get stuck and we can't get it out, and then we're stuck with a bunch of quarters in there. All right, we'll check the vacuum. Speaking of annoying keys, this one has one of the most annoying keys. I mentioned this before. I've seen a few people collect money from their vacuums. They all have annoying keys. They all are frustrated and like, oh my god, I hate these things. So you'd think they could. I mean, I guess it's good that it's secure and hard to open because it, you know, nobody can steal my $8 I have in here. But it's still a little frustrating. Well, there might be more than $8. And then yeah, it's actually easier to get it unlocked. Getting it locked, you have to turn the key, get the hole in the right position, get that down in the right spot, and then it might be a little trickier with the camera because I can't really get in there and look very good because the camera is sticking right in front of like my mouth. That's how I have it set up. So, and yes, I do look weird to all the customers who see me messing around the laundromat with the camera stuck to my chest, or actually around my neck. So. But that wasn't bad from the car wash and vacuum. I think we've had more before, but we'll count that and see what we've got. Alright, this is the dryer. I left the lights off and dark in here because I feel like it's actually easier to see the count when I do that, because it's kind of hard to see those numbers when it's real light. And I also can zoom in and zoom out with this camera. I'm using an Insta360 X4 camera now. And I can look wherever I want. I can zoom in, I can zoom out, I can change all kinds of different stuff. So if there's certain stuff you like or don't like, let me know. But that's awesome. 507. I've been hoping for over 400 quarters lately, and to get 507 is great. Sorry, I had an appointment I was going to after this, and I realized I was going to be late, so I was making sure they could show up late. And then I also want to make sure my camera is still going. Yes, there it is. See, that's where it was pointed at before, is straight at my face, which I know you guys don't want to see. So, we'll point it at the change machine. This is the old washers, the top loaders. Not bad. Almost 400, and most of our money is usually in our big ones. So we've been hoping for at least 800 lately. That's kind of like we get 200 from the washers, 100 from the dryers. That's okay. But I think we're going to get way more than that. So we'll see how much we end up here. This could be a record, actually. It'll be close. We'll have to look at the data and see. 1228. Last week we had like 700 and something. So when the change machine works, that's awesome. And this was Christmas week too. This wasn't like, this is a holiday week on Christmas. So I don't know, either people loved my laundromat on Christmas, or we just had a really good week. I don't know. Because of my other laundromat, I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler for those watching. We'll show that video tomorrow. It did not have an amazing week over Christmas. It definitely did not. So it's not like Christmas is just awesome. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm forgetting about the car wash and vacuum again. Poor guys, they're gonna feel left out. This is the vacuum. Yeah, there's money there. We always say that about the vacuum. There's some money in there. The car wash. It's okay. Nothing crazy. So we'll get those in the chart and show you what all we've got. Okay, let's see if the change machine still works. That's the most important part of this business. Oh, I just have 20s. Well, I guess we're using the 20. Sweet. While I locked up, I better unlock and make sure that change machine is all the way full, because you never know, we could run out. I was thinking about leaving this 20 in there and giving myself a bonus 20 for next week and cheating, but if we're selling the property, really shouldn't be cheating with the money. We should keep it legit. So we'll take that out. Get all these back in there, and then it works, yay. Okay, so here's the money chart, and we'll see how we ended up at the end. Now, I had a good idea. Obviously, I knew we did pretty good seeing the quarter count, but I don't ever remember what our records are, or very rarely remember them, or how much exactly we had for our records. So I think it was close, but I don't know for sure until I come back to my office, divide all those numbers by 4, put them in this fancy chart, and then see how the chart ends up at the end. So you can see we bought it. It was pretty awful. Got it going a lot better. Then we had lots of disasters, and the car wash broke, and the change machine broke, and all kinds of stuff happened. We had an awful, awful last fall and winter, as you can see. And so I was kind of worried, hopefully that doesn't happen this fall and winter, and it wasn't just awful stuff happening, but, you know, business. But so far this fall, as you can see, you know, we had a big drop off there. That was we were closed for a couple of days. Look at that! Look! Our new record, $490.75, almost $500. And we collected $412 in cash, which is also a new record. We've never had over 400. The washers set a record. Dryers were really close. In fact, I was getting out my calculator because I was like, did I add these wrong? Did I add in like an extra 100 or something? Because that seems like way too much money. But I added it a couple times, and I kept coming up with the same number. So I think we actually got $490.75. So really cool to see. It was Christmas week, which is crazy. I was not expecting a record or anything like that this week. Maybe a lot of people didn't do laundry last week because of our issues, and we're doing it this week. But I think in general, people would just go to it. I mean, it is a small town. We're probably 15, 20 minutes away from the next large town with a laundromat, so they'd have to drive a ways. But still, I think most people would go to a different laundromat if this one was broken and not working. So that was just really cool to see. And after last week having issues and problems and a down week, it was pretty nice to see this bump. Now it'll be really interesting to see what happens going forward. If this keeps it up and keeps happening, or if it was just an anomaly and the Christmas present of laundromats past or something like that. All right, thanks for watching. We'll have the other larger laundromat video tomorrow. We'll see how it did. Like I said, I hinted before, it did not have a crazy, amazing Christmas week like this one did. And of course, we'll have more videos on our flips, rentals, other businesses as well. Take care. Merry Christmas. Be back soon.